From this moment forth, Nathaniel Howe, you are a Grey Warden.
The moment of truth.
The Howe is stronger than I expected. For better or for worse, he will live. Commander, the Lords of Amaranthine have come to swear fealty to you and the Grey Wardens. These were Arl Rendon Howe's vassals. Now they will be yours. Lieges and vassals are seldom of one mind, Commander. Some of these lords bore Rendon no love, but others had their prospects ruined with his demise. Tread carefully, Commander. Lords and ladies, I present the Warden Commander of Ferelden and Arl of Amaranthine.
Commander.
Ban Esmeralda of Amaranthine. As is old custom, you have the honor of beginning.
I promise that I, Ban Esmeralda, will be faithful to the Arl in matters of life, limb, and earthly honor. Never will I bear arms against her or her heirs. So I say, in the sight of the Maker.
I promise that I, Lord Edelbreck...
And so, the ceremony is complete.
Long live the Warden Commander! Honored to meet you, Warden Commander. You come to us during desperate times.
Not more about your precious farms, Edelbreck.
Some in our Arling do not have the comfort of city walls. On the plains, the situation is dire. As we feast, the peasants on our lands are starving, or worse.
The city's defenses are more important, Edelbreck.
There may be wheat in the silos now, but if the farmers die, where will you get your food? Then I pray to the Maker that your choices are wise.
I see that Lord Edelbreck wastes no time in canvassing you for soldiers to defend his farms. Do not be deceived, Commander. His livelihood is all he cares about. Amaranthine is the jewel of the Arling, and she must be protected. Pragmatism. A farming hovel can be rebuilt with straw and mud. Amaranthine was built over generations. If she falls, then this great Arling will be diminished.
Wealth is well and good, but what measure do you put to human life? The folk in the country outnumber your city dwellers many times over.
I would not be so vulgar as to violate the decorum of this event. Commander?
Edelbrecht speaks truly, sir, but things are dire. He and Ban Esmeralda both contest the deployment of soldiers. But we don't have enough men. It's a matter of what you want to protect. The city, the land, trade. As you wish.
Now this is what I'm talking about. Skirts, drink, and music. You think one of them would give a dwarf a go? Or maybe two of them?
It's good to be Arl, right? The bowing, the social climbers who do anything to get ahead. If you see any stray damsels in distress, send them my way. Regardless, I overheard something. Some nobles were gathered at the alcove. I couldn't hear much. Something must be dealt with. Something all in agreement. Not much to go on, I grant you. But they were being furtive, and I sensed they were trying to remain concealed from you. No, I tried. Too much mingling. I believe some of these nobles seek a convenient end to a messy problem. The problem being you. I could paralyze them to search for evidence, but the Seneschal may have more diplomatic ideas.
Let me know if you want the nobles cleared out. If you want the ceremony to end, I mean. Do you know the conspirators? The right of high justice is yours, and treachery is a capital offense. Better to be a touch paranoid than turning up face down in a ditch. To proceed, we'd need strong proof, and that'll be hard to gather. There are options. Some I would not recommend. They could turn the nobles fierce. We could have some soldiers try to spy on the nobility. I suppose that might bear fruit. There are also rumors of someone called the Dark Wolf, who finds information for a fee. Dangerous fellow, by all accounts. You could invite a member of each of the noble families to stay as prolonged guests. And if anything untoward happens, well, you get the picture. This is a terribly Orlesian thing to do. I suppose there's little to worry about. Anything else? As you wish, Commander. Clear the hall. The Commander has business to attend to.
Hey, I gotta thank you for saving my hide today. There was that guy, and he was all, and I was, but then I got hit by an arrow. And then I fell over, and it was meep, but you were there, and you were all, spectaculous. I'm gonna drink to you, Commander. Here's to the...
So, you're a Howe.
Do you have a point, Mage?
Hey, I'm fond of the Hows. I'm also fond of the whys, the whos, and the whats.
How clever.
Oh, it's shameful how long it took me to come up with that.
Samuel! Groundskeeper Samuel! Is that you?
Who? Maker's breath. If it isn't little Nate. I'd know that face anywhere.
Groundskeeper, I am overjoyed that you stayed on. Please, do you know how my brother died? And my sister? I was in the Free Marches.
Your brother died in the war. And Lady Delilah, don't you know? She isn't dead, son. Not that I know of. Last I heard, she married a storekeep in Amaranthine. Don't know which one. Poor girl.
Did you hear that? My sister is alive. I knew about my mother and heard my brother might be dead. I suppose I just assumed that Delilah was dead too. Could we ask around the shops next time we're in Amaranthine? Thank you. I would be interested to know just what happened to her.
They used to display the heads of traitors over that gate.
I suppose my father is lucky his didn't end up there.
The darkspawn are coming.
Excuse me, but I need to search your packs for smuggled goods. But I have to. Constable's orders. We've been having trouble with smugglers and...
What are you doing, man? Are you accusing the commander of the Grey of smuggling?
But you said everyone...
You are dismissed. I apologize. Smugglers and thieves have all but taken over the city. We could certainly use your help in this. Come speak to me later if you're interested.
You're Rendon Howe's little blighter.
That's one way of putting it.
They talked about you in the army. Fergus Kuzlin said you wouldn't have the stones to show your face again. But you proved him wrong. I respect that.
You do?
Yeah, throw caution to the wind, run headlong into danger, and sod the consequences. That's the only way to live.
Thanks. I think.
Yep. Don't you give a piss what the others think. Ogren's got your back.
Well, if it isn't the Warden Commander, how have you been? I suppose congratulations are in order. And you. I hear the darkspawn are not retreating as they should. It sounds like the Wardens have their hands full. I'd offer to help, but I'm afraid my presence is required elsewhere. The College of the Magi is convening in Cumberland, and I must attend. Hopefully, all this will blow over before it's begun. But you have enough on your mind as it is. I shan't trouble you with this further. Very well. Then perhaps you should know that something stirs within the fraternities. The Libertarians wish to pull away entirely from the Chantry. And if they get enough support...
Pull away entirely? That's madness. I hate Chantry oversight as much as the next mage, but they can't just decide to leave. This is a recipe for disaster.
Yes, of course. Now, I have a great many preparations to make before I leave for Navarra. But perhaps there is something you can do for me. One of my colleagues, Ines, has spent the last few months in the Wending Wood. The Circle has been unable to reach her, given the trouble in the area. If you happen to find yourself in the wood, on your travels, perhaps you could tell her about the meeting of the college. Oh, who knows, rooting around in the dirt for some obscure plant or other, most likely. She has a keen interest in gardening. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant botany. Hobbies and eccentricities aside, Ines is a well-respected mage and a voice of reason, something we could use on our side. But I can't waste any more time. Good luck to you, Warden Commander.
It figures, actually. There used to be another statue here. It was of Byron Howe, my great-uncle. He died in the rebellion, helping King Merrick reclaim his throne. Yet his statue is gone. All because of what my father did. Surprised? No, not really. There's a long line of heroes in my family. The Howes have been around since Callan had. Now it's all gone. And for what? For being on the wrong side of the war? For choosing poorly? Maybe you're right. I wish I knew exactly how. I wonder what happened to the old statue. Likely propping up the side of a chantry or something. Poor Arl Byron. Yeah, statues of her pigeons. I don't want to look at it.
So, you think there's an apothecary around here somewhere? Well, I don't want to bother you with this, you being my boss and all. I've tried those, but they only stop the itching for a few hours. Right. Look, for the past few days I've had this burning rash. The skin's actually got a sort of greenish look to it. You know, I bet it's that Grey Warden stuff we had to drink. Too late for regrets. Yeah, I'll just see if I can't find some nice minty balm somewhere in this town.
Were you there when my father was killed?
Don't go digging in the dust for things laid to rest. It does no one any good.
Whatever people say about him, he was still my father. And I just want to know if he suffered.
I'm not the person to ask.
Very well, Ogren. Evade the question.
Ah, can you smell that? That is the smell of freedom. It comes complete with the smell of dogs and dust, but the freedom is in there too. I may not have a choice about fighting the darkspawn, but this is a step up for me. I escaped from the tower 7 times. After the last time, they put me in solitary confinement for a year. Eventually, I'm sure they would have branded me a Maleficar, true or not, and executed me. Well, sure, now I am. Don't think the irony is lost on me. The problem is that mages are tolerated, barely. It's like you need permission to be alive. There's nothing a mage can do to prove himself. Everyone needs to be protected from you. The end. I know elves have it bad, but I don't see anyone locking you up just for being what you are. All I want is a pretty girl, a decent meal, and the right to shoot lightning at fools. See? I knew you understood. Never mind me. Now and again I recall that I'm not sitting in a cell and I have to smile, that's all.
Delilah? Is that really you?
Nathaniel! I had feared the worst.
Times must have been hard, Delilah. But you can do better than this. Come back to the estate until we find somewhere else.
What? Oh, Nathaniel, I didn't marry Albert out of desperation. I adore him. I was so glad to get away from Father's evil. This life is so much better.
Father's evil? Isn't that overstating things a little? He got caught up in politics.
You weren't here. You didn't see what he did, Nathaniel. You want the culprit who destroyed our family? It was him, without question.
I had no idea.
Of course you did. But you always worshipped Father, right from when you were a little boy. Come, brother, let us sit and catch up a bit, shall we?
She said she wants me to come back. Once all this is done. Meet her husband. She's due by the spring. She seems happy. She said Father deserved to die. I still can't believe it. I thought he had his reasons. It was a war for Andraste's sake. Before I went to the free marches, he was never... How could he have changed so much? I suppose not. I wish I'd known some of this sooner. I feel like such a fool. Now please, let's get back to our business. I need to think.
Something I can do for you, friend? And who are you supposed to be that's asking? An elf? Yes, of course. Haven't seen that fellow Kristoff for almost a week now. Not sure where he went. His room's paid up to the end of the month. I guess he expected he'd be here a while. Not much. He chatted up Sorsha a bit when she brought him his dinner. Maybe talked to her. Of course. Here you go. It's the last room at the end of the hall. If he comes back and gets upset, however, it's on your head.
Looking to wet your whistle, stranger. We chatted a bit. He was a friendly sort for a Grey Warden. Spent most of his nights here drinking. Wasn't ever loud or too forward. Haven't seen him for maybe a week now. Said he was tracking some darkspawn, one particular group that's been raiding outside the city. He told me they were acting strange, those darkspawn. Acting obvious, like they wanted to be caught or something. I expect he caught them. Probably why he hasn't been back, right? No, he took a lot of notes while he drank. Always writing things down. Maybe there's something in his room.
They say this marsh was once inhabited, until one day everyone disappeared.
I thought it's, that dragon must have been dead a while. Pity. Nothing gets the blood flowing like a dragon battle. Dead. Kristoff's doing, maybe.
That answers that, I suppose. The darkspawn are definitely here.
Interesting. A new form of darkspawn?
Why would we suddenly be seeing new forms of darkspawn? This isn't even a blight.
Yes. That is your Grey Warden. The mother told it to me that if he was lured to this place and slain, that in time you would come. And the mother, she was right. The mother is always right. The mother is she that sent me, she that wished you to come to here, this place. Here before you is the first, and I am bringing to you a message. The mother, she is not permitting you to further his plan, whether this you know or not. So she is sending you a gift. No. We have come to the fate as well. It cannot be this. The mother, she has deceived me. I am betrayed.
Can never trust my mother either.
Now I am being trapped in the Fade with you. Ah, I am the fool. I am thinking the mother, she cares not what happens to the first, so long as the Grey Warden is defeated. I will be leaving you to the children. I will be finding my own path back into the world. Back to the mother.
What was that thing? Who is the mother? Another darkspawn?
More talking darkspawn. And now some mother to go along with it? Cute. Wait, what did that snarly bastard say? The Fade? We're in the Fade? That's where humans dream, isn't it? Dwarves shouldn't be here. We don't dream. We sleep like a stone. Commander, I couldn't keep my wits about me if they were strapped to my back. And what happens to my body while I'm here? Someone could outrage my modesty. What little's left of it. Sod.
I'm just going to assume that something died in your mouth.
Funny story. Dwarf attacks mage, dwarf wins.
Yeah, I noticed how you pissed in your armor in that last fight. Well done.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
This must be what the village was like before it was forgotten.
You're not a spirit like everyone else. How did you get here? This is where my grandfather's ashes are buried. I come to visit him often. He was the last person to stay in Blackmarch. Once he passed, there was nobody left in the village who remembered. This? Of course I know that. This isn't... Oh no! They've come back again! Quick, come hide in the crypt! And so you came. Fell into my little trap. Such wonderful creatures, you mortals. So full of yearnings. So full of hunger. There was a girl. You should have seen what she gave to slake her thirst. As now you shall slake mine. You have released me, stranger. After being trapped for so long by my own foolish desires, now I can at last go. Thank you.
Halt! Who enters the Blackmarch?
This is... I don't know where this is.
We've been here so long at her mercy. I almost forget what it was like before.
There's a spirit that's come to free us. Perhaps you could help him. If only that were possible.
The mansion will not protect you, fiend! Come out and face your crime!
We aren't afraid of you any longer! The witch hides! Break down the door!
Be cautious, my friends! The Baroness has power within her lair, and she well knows it. We rush in at our peril. And who comes now? More minions of the Baroness? Or yet more helpless souls she has tormented? You are not aware. Clearly you are a stranger here, then. I am Justice. I have watched this place and seethed at the wrongs visited on these poor folk, and now I seek to aid them.
Once we lived in the real world and the Baroness ruled over us. She took our children and used their blood to work dark and evil magic.
And when we burned down her mansion, she cast one final spell that brought our spirits here. We've been trapped ever since, still under her rule.
This spirit knows the Fade. If we help him, he might help us.
I think that since the Baroness trapped these people here, that she's our best chance of getting out.
Tell me, stranger, will you help us in this righteous task? The Baroness and her minions are powerful, but you seem an able sort. Your aid would be welcome. Out of... Ah, I see. You come from the realm of mortals, as these fine people once did. Was it the Baroness who brought you here as well? Then the injustice of your own situation underscores why these people must be avenged. These men and women are dead, yet their spirits remain trapped by the vanity of this sorceress.
Until this spirit came, we were helpless, locked into this eternal nightmare. But now, we can act!
I do not know how to cross the veil back into your world. Should you aid us now, however, I promise that I will help you search. Your kind crosses over the veil all the time. To be honest, I cannot even imagine what power keeps you here. The darker spirits, those things you would call demons, they also seek to cross the veil. Perhaps they will have answers for you. I will seek a demon to question, but only if you help me now. Justice must come first.
You won't help us? Have you no compassion?
Do not trouble yourself, good woman. It is pointless to appeal to that which does not exist. I am troubled by your refusal, mortal, but I understand it. We will prevail, even if we must do so on our own.
The mistress says, away! Away with you, you hooligans! How dare you try to assault perfection! Have you come to hurl insults at the mistress? Because I won't allow it. The mistress is not really one to negotiate. She likes things to be just as she likes them.
She sounds like my mother.
But she might deign to speak with you. You seem marginally less reprehensible than the rabble out there. I'll leave it up to the Baroness to decide what's to be done with you then. She'll know. She always knows.
Now this is unexpected. I could have sworn I said that I was accepting no visitors, especially from out there.
Many apologies, mistress. These strangers have come to speak with you. I thought you...
From the lands beyond the Veil, I see. How interesting. I will grant this audience.
Very good, mistress. I will see to the barricades.
Oh, I love powerful women. And this one's Orlesian, too.
Now then, what brings you into my parlor, You seek my aid, perhaps? Trapped, then? Yes, I can see the magic on you. How interesting. Rid me of the fools outside, especially that loathsome spirit of justice, and I shall return you whence you came.
She looks powerful and up to the task of getting us out. I say we go with her.
When do we stop talking and start fighting? I'm sick of this hazy dreamland.
We can't trust her. She made use of the people out there, and she'll use us too. I do. If you think this is the best course of action, I will trust your judgment.
It is no simple matter to tear the veil, especially when the magic that keeps you here makes it strong. But I am stronger still. Excellent. And just in time, it seems.
And there she is. Now you answer for your crimes, witch!
Indeed. Perhaps you haven't met my new protector. Do say hello.
You are not the only one who has sought allies from the mortal world, sorceress.
So, the Grey Warden and the First are meeting again. And it has an ally. The mistress that is of this place. It is now a friend. Is this so? The Grey Warden, it has a theory that must be tested.
So you stand with the sorceress. It is a sad day when evil finds such ready accomplices.
Enough. It is speaking too much to the Grey Warden. The battle, it must be done now.
How bothersome. It seems you were as good as your word, mortal. The rebellious rabble have been defeated. I'll need someone from your world with an actual life force to plunder. And my, it seems you're in luck. This one isn't quite dead yet.
No, I was not to even be in this place. The Mother, it is her deceit, her doing.
Then we'll know who to thank, won't we?